What are we talking about?
School lunches.
Hey, Mama Soup.
Hey, we talk about some heavy shit here, but this is not going to be heavy this episode
We're
because
talking about
school
lunch,
lunches.
school lunches. Wow. What's
Well,
the problem? Go get one of those Lunchable boxes, throw it in a bag, and off they go.
okay, that's the problem. Like right there. I get it.
I'm a busy parent. I don't have time to do the Pinterest make apples with tuna stuffed in it and shit. I don't. Those are cute and everything, but that's not realistic.
Nobody has time for that. Nobody. But there is nothing more disheartening than spending any amount of time packing a lunch, or 2 or 3 or 4, depending on how many kids you have, just for it to come home all
and rot inside a backpack that's sitting at the front door.
You can just literally see your dollar bills going out the door on your groceries that never get.
I lost count of how much food was wasted. How many times I saw full lunches uneaten sitting in a backpack.
So fucking irritating. And then you find out that your kid went to the breakfast program or they went to the office to tell the secretary that they don't have a lunch today.
Yeah, the little fuckers.
They don't like what you packed.
Just because they don't like, I mean, granted, the staff at schools understand that, I think. I think they know the true hardship case kids who really don't get meals.
Yeah.
From the spoiled little fuckers that just don't like their sandwich that day.
Right? Ours were the latter. Ours were the spoiled little fuckers.
Yeah.
And this is something that parents deal with every single day.
Yep.
And while we don't deal with it anymore, I just
thank God.
You and I. What?
Thank God we don't have to make lunches anymore. I hated making lunches. Oh my God, I hated making lunches.
The worst. But we definitely tried some things over the years. Some worked and some didn't.
Yep.
But so I thought we could have like a quick little chat about that, because we both made lunches over the years. Yep. There were times where I was working nights, or
our kids got some pretty interesting lunches sometimes, let me put it that way, all dependent on how late you were to get them out the door and on the bus or get yourself in the car and get to work. So
by the way, very few people make lunches the night before. I'm just saying
I was going to say, if you can be disciplined enough to do it the night before, but let's get real. When your kids are a little smaller and you get them to bed, the last fucking thing you want to do is go to your kitchen and start packing lunches at 9 o'clock at night, right?
After you've just cleaned the kitchen up from dinner, you just don't want to do it.
Yeah, you don't want to do it. You're just like, I'll deal with it in the morning. And then, of course, you sleep in the morning and you wake up panicked. That's when they get, a fucking pickle and a couple of crackers and a yogurt in their lunch.
And the pressure to always have groceries.
Oh,
we don't have that pressure anymore. And I got to tell you, it's kind of nice. Like, there's never that Sunday night, oh, fuck, what do we have to make? We don't have any bread, or we don't have any whatever.
We're out of bread, or there's nothing. We got nothing for lunches tomorrow. And then you have to get super creative.
Yeah.
And quick.
And
you know what? We've been there. And our kids never suffered. Our kids never went hungry. We always provided for our kids. Whether they ate it or not is a different story.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody knows kids they're gonna trade lunches. That's a big part of being at school. I remember doing that when I was a kid. What do you have? I mean, we were allowed to bring peanut butter when I was a kid. And I mean, if you had peanut butter, you wrote your own ticket. You could trade it for anything. There wasn't a kid at school that didn't want a peanut butter sandwich.
Seriously.
Right? Yeah.
Now I know there's a lot of kids, like our kids, we sent them a lot with fruit. And I think other kids traded them their granola bars.
Their Twinkies and granola. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't judge a parent for, a lot of parents buy convenience items for kids because, quite frankly, you can put a Lunchable kid in. You can throw in a Twinkie and an apple, make yourself feel good that they're getting some fruit. In like 10 seconds, you can make a lunch with that kind of stuff. And yeah, that's a huge time saver for you, for sure. to
Those
put together a
lunch,
lunch, to put together a Lunchables things where you got to take out the crackers, you got to cut up the cheese, you got to cut up the kielbasa, you got to take all that time to do all that. Yeah, you can do it, but do you really have the time to do it? A lot of parents don't, right?
those Lunchables are expensive now.
But
They're
that's
not
just it.
cheap.
Convenience is overpriced,
Yeah,
right? That's why they call it a convenience store, not a it's not a dollar store, right?
yeah.
You're paying premium prices to pay for an inconvenience that you're trying to avoid.
So now they have like litterless lunches. So now
Yeah.
it's not enough pressure that it has to be a balanced lunch,
It all comes
and
home.
all the garbage comes home.
All the
And
garbage comes home.
now, obviously we're trying to be conscious about the environment. So people, now you have to send the things in the package.
What I discovered with kids, yeah, you got to send with packages, but I mean, again, Tupperware containers and stuff are fantastic. They do take up a lot of space.
Yeah.
They've got ergonomic kits that you can put little things in. But what I found, especially with making a kid's lunch, is to take the extra time to cut the apple up into slices.
Yes.
Right? Make it edible quickly. So the kid doesn't have to do any work on it. It's in the mouth and that's it, right?
There's something different.
The problem I had with, like, especially fruit, let's get serious. Fruit is fucking expensive.
Mhm.
So if you're going to take a piece of fruit, apples are probably the most resilient from being, thrown around in a backpack and stuff
Yeah.
like that. But holy shit, bananas, peaches, pears, that kind of stuff. You're going to throw those like willy-nilly into a bag and expect it to survive until lunchtime. When that kid pulls that thing out, like that, I've had pears in lunches that basically exploded.
Yeah.
And there's pear on everything. Bananas too. Bananas are bruised. The minute the kid peels a banana and there's a black spot on it, it's not getting eaten. It's getting thrown back in the backpack, right? I mean, seriously, I wouldn't eat it. Would you? I may scoop out the black piece, but I mean, that's about it.
I grew up.
The easier you can make a kid's lunch and the cleaner it is, like finger food and stuff, the happier you will be. Take a little bit of time to do that.
Yes.
And you'll save yourself a headache when you have to, and every parent dreads sticking that hand into that backpack at the bottom because you can't see it, but you're going to feel something disgusting down there. And it's always wet and it's always, bleh.
Yes.
Like, how many backpacks have we thrown out with, like, just throw the whole thing? Like,
so many. So what I've found over the years is that kids like anything deconstructed.
Yep.
And they like to dip things. So if you're going to make your kid a turkey and cheese sandwich, don't.
Give them turkey, give them cheese.
Roll up the turkey.
Yeah.
Give them cheese, cut the cheese.
Or if your kid's a builder, deconstruct it like you said. Send 2 pieces of bread, send the turkey, send the cheese. Make them put it together. Mm-hmm. Then they'll have created something and they or eat it individually. Yeah,
maybe they feel like having turkey for their recess in the morning, and then the lunch they'll have the cheese. Like, who cares?
This was our problem with one child, where he ate his lunch at 9 o'clock in the morning, and then he literally had no lunch at lunchtime. So he would go and play the sorrow kid and say, "I didn't get a lunch today."
And that's the other thing. Like, kids are growing. Kids are really, really growing fast. So don't give them a bunch. They need carbs, obviously.
Yeah, for sure.
We were always really conscious about giving them proteins.
Yeah.
To keep them full, and also carbs, like the sugar in some of the crackers and breads and stuff.
Yeah. But at that age, I mean, growing, it's necessary, I think, for carbs. The sugar's a big one. We hardly, I mean, parents throw, juice boxes in. Juice boxes, a lot of juice boxes are 80-90% sugar. Like, I mean, throw a water bottle in if you can, right? Unsweetened juices for sure. And just make healthy choices for your kids, right?
Yeah.
That's the thing. Ultimately, you're the one feeding them. It's ultimately up to you what you feed them. You can't control at school if they're going to eat it or not. You hope they do. You hope it's palatable enough. Your kids have to have a healthy relationship with food to begin with.
Yeah.
Right? If your kids don't have a healthy relationship with food, if they're used to coming home and having their own way with, like, eating sugar and stuff like that, they're going to expect that in their lunch. And if you're going to be the good parent that just sends sugary stuffed lunch, guess what? They're not going to eat it, or they'll trade it for something that they want to eat.
There has to be balance. So like if they have pizza Fridays, fuck, if you can afford it, make sure you do pizza Fridays.
Absolutely.
First of all, it takes a lot off your plate one day a week.
Yep.
But even if you can't afford it, then let that be the day when your kid gets the juice box, or like make it so that at least there's one day of the week where the kid has, the cookies or whatever.
Right.
And I don't think like withholding cookies and stuff like that's not a good idea either. But
no, everything is all about balance, like you said.
Yeah.
Right?
Our kids loved celery with Cheese Whiz. Cheese Whiz is terrible for you, but celery.
Yeah. What do they call it? Ants on a log, where you
and then you sprinkle
or whatever on top, and you make a fun thing out of it. Little kids love that. Mm-hmm. Teenagers, there comes a point where a teenager really takes responsibility for their own lunch.
And they don't.
And they don't. Most likely, our kids' high school, there's fast food readily available within walking distance of the school. And guess what? That's where they'll go. If they have money in their pocket, or they'll sweet talk a friend into buying them a slice of pizza or something, right?
Then our kids put on a bunch of weight, and then they took control of their lunches.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. I was, as a parent, you have an idea of what you want your child to eat for lunch. As a child, you have an idea of what you won't eat for lunch, right? Don't feed your kids something in the lunch that they would never eat at home.
Yeah.
Right? Like how many times we had yogurt containers come back, but you know what kind of yogurt they ate? Those sticks where you could just suck it all in, or have it fun.
Different
or drink the Yop drinks. That's the way to get it. But if you had one of those containers with the foil top that peeled open and you had to mix the fruit, those always came back home. They always came back home.
Warm.
But here I was putting one in the next day's lunch. And then as a parent, you get pissed and go, oh, you didn't eat it yesterday? You'll eat it tomorrow and throw it in tomorrow's lunch, right? Because fuck them. I work hard I have to buy this food and put it in a bag for you. It's yours for free to eat, and you won't fucking eat it. Fuck you. Not that I'm bitter memories about lunches, fuckers.
Oh my God. The other thing about kids is they like to so you said like cut up the fruit. So cut up the apples. Yeah. But then give them a little container of cinnamon. Let them dip it.
Dipping. Dipping is so big for some kids.
Some kids.
Why do you think they have things like dippers? Those little cookie sticks and chocolate pudding. Our kids wanted that in every lunch.
Yeah.
Because it was fun and it was sweet, right?
They'll dip anything. Like if you send veggies with some salad dressing, they'll dip it.
Oh, our kids used to love getting little containers of dip or dressing or something, right? Even a salad. Send a kid, the one kid that likes salad, send a salad with dressing. Oh my God, they would love it.
Yeah.
They loved it, right?
But send it separately. Don't pre-mix the salad dressing.
There are some skills to be had in making lunches so that it will last till lunchtime, right? And every kid has a different lunchtime, right?
But honestly, even from a young age, it makes kids feel like they are capable of doing things. Like they can build their own salad. So if you send them the salad and some veggies and the dressing, they'll build it themselves.
Yeah.
Because it gives them some sort of power over what they're eating. Like
it gives them a sense of pride and accomplishment that they can do something for themselves and they don't need to rely on you. There is that transition point from kids to teens where they don't want to rely on you for a lot of stuff, and you need to let them control some of their own life, and that's an important thing, actually.
Yeah, and yet they rely on you for everything.
Yeah, but I mean, lunches, it's some trial and error. Nobody knows your child better than you do when it comes to food. You know what they'll eat and what they won't. Don't put something in their lunch that you know they won't eat, because it's going to come back. Right?
Yeah, like that whole cleaning.
You're just fooling yourself if you think they're going to eat it at school. Oh, they just don't like it at home. Oh, they'll eat it at school. No, they won't. Fuck. Jesus.
Our kids loved things like I would boil eggs. Now, it takes a certain level of confidence to go to school and eat boiled eggs because they smell. So if your kids got that level of confidence, take away the barrier by peeling the shell off.
Make it ready to go. Yeah, salt and
Just-
pepper in a little Ziploc bag and off you
Yep.
go, right?
Or in the containers. And the other thing was things like chickpeas that they could just eat with
Yeah.
their fingers, or
Easily accessible and easy to eat. Yeah. If
mhm.
they have to work at it, it most likely won't get. Because quite frankly, kids don't want to spend their half hour of lunch eating lunch. They
No,
want to
they're
wolf down
talking.
their lunch and they want to go outside and play and do stuff. So eating is just something that has to happen at that point for them. The more you can make it easier for them to eat, the more they will eat. Right.
Yeah. And if you're sending like tangerines or clementines, peel them.
Otherwise, I mean, like you said, now it's litterless lunch, so it's going to come back home anyway, right? Save yourself the hassle, take the extra few seconds to peel it. That way they can just eat it and there's nothing coming home, right?
Yeah.
So unless you like collecting and cleaning out garbage as part of your routine when they come home, I know Joe and I sure as hell didn't, because we never did it. We'd look at the backpack at the end of the semester and be like, oh, what is this? Oh my God.
And
Oh, the books. Oh.
one thing that sounds so Pinteresty, Mom, and I hate to even admit it, but I used to write little notes. Like once in a while, you write a little love note. You don't have to do it every day.
I'm that, yeah, those are cute actually.
Yeah.
I actually saw a great video that a woman took of her stepfather. He had spent his life making her lunches, and every day he put a little sticky note in there with a positive message in it for her. And she kept all of those sticky notes and put it up on a big board and had it all professionally laminated and stuff, and gave it back to her stepfather as a Father's Day present.
Aww.
Just as a reminder of all the nice things he said to her and what it meant to her throughout school to get that. And I just love that. I just thought it was great.
Such a sweet idea. Our kids
would never fucking do that. No, fuck, they don't give a shit about us.
No, they don't. And we still love them, but.
And understand too that whatever you give your child for lunch isn't going to be nearly enough to satisfy their voracious appetites. Because as soon as they step off that bus at 3:30, they're in your face saying, "What's for snack?" After school snack.
Yeah.
That's a whole other conversation. Snacking in between meals. Jesus. And how to keep them interested in dinner without overdoing it at snack time, right?
That's something nobody tells you about when you become parents, is that you're basically just snack bitches. That's what you are.
Yeah, you are. Yeah, you're just what's to eat. Yeah,
like kids just want to snack all the time. I guess that's normal.
I don't get mad at them because they don't know what it's like. You could yell at them and tell them, do you know how much there's starving kids in the world that would give anything to have this? That doesn't work on kids. They don't give a shit about that. They just give a shit that they have a need for something sweet or savory in their mouth and you're not giving it to them. So
honestly, think about us as grown-ups. We don't want to eat the same thing every day, most of us. Yep. No. And we go through food moods, where we want something sweet or we want something salty, or so maybe even asking your kid that day, like, what's your food mood?
Yeah, exactly.
And just
what are you feeling today? Within reason. Otherwise you're going to be sitting there going, well, I want turkey and I want this and I want that. And you're like, okay, now I've opened a can of worms.
Yeah.
So again, it's about parenting. Almost everything in parenting, everything you're dealing with is about balance. Balance. And what I like to do is do what Joanne suggests you do with a lot of stuff with kids. Give them only two choices. You can have this or you can have this. If you don't like either of those, you're on your own, because that's what this restaurant is serving today.
Yeah, don't open the fridge and say, pick out what you want. No.
Oh God, they won't.
Oh my God.
These are the same fuckers that will open your pantry and fridge and say there's nothing to eat after you spent $400 at Costco. They're going to sit there and tell you there's nothing to eat in your fridge. So don't listen to them. They're fucking. Give them two choices. That's it. Oh, great.
Okay, well, this has been fun.
Yeah, again, lunches, I mean, use common sense. Yes, healthy eating, of course. Don't let that stop you from giving them a sweet treat or something in there just to make their day.
Yeah, because you don't want to give them some kind of weird relationship with food by saying, exactly. You can't have this, you can't have that. Let them have something sweet. Let them have, And then also let them figure it out sometimes. Oh, the other thing I
Okay.
have done is with that. Okay, when you send the lunch to school with the kid and then they come home and half of the lunch, they still have it and they want a snack after school. So I
Oh, yeah.
agree. Yes, you can
Yeah.
always have a snack, but first you finish your lunch.
Yeah, let's see what you didn't eat in your lunch and we'll go through
If
it and
your
go.
kid is coming home to your house and like you can control that, that's always a good idea. Like
Yeah, unless they get smart to you and then they just start leaving shit
dumping
on
it.
the bus. Yeah,
Yeah.
before they get stopped at home, they're leaving shit on the seat of the bus. See, no, I ate all my lunch.
Yeah.
Give me some Captain Crunch. Yeah, I know they get smart fast. So, but no, you're right. That's a good idea.
Mhm.
Go through the lunch. Did you eat all your lunch first? No. Okay, well, we'll work on that first, and then we'll go from there.
Yeah.
That's a very good point. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I
no,
got a
Mama
few.
Sue. Yeah, you do. All
All
right.
right. Well, I appreciate your input here today
And
because,
I appreciate talking to you too.
yeah,
Love you.
love you.